Welcome, Mark Jarvis, a former colleague, I guess lifetime colleague, perhaps. We were at Ernst& Young Partners together. Uh, so, Mark, tell us about yourself and your reflections and predictions.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Well, yeah, believe it or not, actually, next year we'll have known each other for 20 years. That puts it into perspective. And
I thought so.
I do have many happy memories working on those M&A deals with you in Moscow. But a year ago, I retired from EY, where I was Group CFO for the global transactions business. And this year, I've been building a NED portfolios. I'm on the board of 5 companies now, along with taking on the role as visiting professor at my old university, doing some guest lectures and things. Although, of course, all of them via Zoom or Teams at the moment. Hopefully next year, actually a live one. Most of my work is UK or Europe focused, but working on a SaaS startup in the asset management space, so that should help me keep my connections to the broader world.
And so if you think about your 2020, your best, worst decisions.
Yeah, well, of course, what went right? As I mentioned, being retired, I'm more on the board side rather than the investing side. So I would say that we've had some great progress moving this SaaS startup forward, and you can see that at citizenshareholders.com. Perhaps the other right was the work on a 14-school trust, which we've had to work on very hard in these super tough times, supporting children that have found it difficult to get access to the online learning. So that's been a great thing. What went wrong? Well, other than COVID, of course, I think it was perhaps a good year for the use of my restructuring skills, which I hadn't planned on using in 2020, but I used them more than I thought.
And then looking ahead, tell us about 21, the way you see it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to touch a little bit on, UK and Europe. So in the UK, we're looking to pick up some growth next year, of course, about 5.5%. The EU zone overall, excluding the UK, is about 4.2 growth projections because, there is some slack countries not doing quite so well there. But looking at the big countries in the EU, I would say Germany and Ireland have managed their debt best in class, their national debt. So perhaps they're poised for reinvesting into the economies to kickstart that growth. So I'd be watching Germany and Ireland. On the other side, what a worrying thing is Hungary and Poland have vetoed the EU's €1 trillion coronavirus recovery package because they object to linking access to Brussels cash with countries that respect the rule of law. So it's an interesting twist. And just a word of caution. I know you've got a lot of IT-orientated people in your network. The EU Parliament may finalise a draft for a new AI regulation next year, which let's hope won't be too restrictive.
Interesting. And in terms of, helping the world, social development goals or philanthropies that you're involved in, if you could name one or two that you're focused on for the coming year.
Yes, I mean, I do sit on Breast Cancer UK as a trustee, but I also sit on Dogs Trust on the philanthropy board. And I thought it was an interesting twist of how things change. I mean, I guess it's capitalism, how the markets drive change. But what's happening is that the price of puppies has more than doubled during lockdown, with dogs costing almost $2,500 on average. Popular breeds, sharper price increases, often selling for $4,000 or more. So this means that these high prices, believe it or not, are encouraging smugglers to stop smuggling so much drugs and beginning to bring in puppies from around, let's say, Eastern Europe and further afield. So we've seen a huge increase in smuggling. So the flip side of that is people are realizing after a while they don't need a puppy and are dumping that back at charities. So this, along with the Dogs Trust, no live events where a lot of money is raised, means that charities as a whole, in the whole charity sector in the UK, is suffering. But those that were funding from live events and this puppy farming smuggling is really hurting Dogs Trust. So I shall be doing as much as I can in 2021.
Well, that makes sense given how many Facebook posts I see of your dog. It's one of your passion projects.
Indeed.
And then how can our network help Mark Jarvis in 2021?
Well, as I said, since I've retired, I'm more in the networking stage of my life and career and investment horizon. So I do find 360 one highly engaging forum. The people in the network are fantastic. So honestly, what I'd like to do more next year is be more involved in the seminars, the breakouts that we do, and of course, as we've spoken, really using my contacts, my Rolodex to spread the word. So I think I'm probably going to be trying to help you next year and just spread that word, which is a great network.
Well, we'll help each other. And next year, what's the one word that you would associate or like?
Yeah, it came to mind very quickly, and I think that one word is hope.
Very good. Well, Mark, thank you for being a part of our ecosystem. 20 years. Great.
I thought that'd cheer you up. Yeah.
Yeah, it sure did. But here's the several 20 more.